This is Wanda Fields coming to you straight from New York City. And I'm coming to you straight from the BizBuzz Network presenting the Speak Life and Claim It show. And we are here tonight, and we are speaking life, and we are claiming it on tonight. So thank you for joining me on the Speak Life and Claim It show. And our topic of discussion is we are family. That's right, y'all. Family first. In order to practice generational wealth, we have got to stick together. So thank you for joining me this evening. I thank everyone for joining me on this broadcast this evening. And if you are a seasoned vet, just type vet in the comment section. And if you are new to this broadcast, just type new. And if you are on the replay at some point, just type hashtag replay. And I thank everyone for joining me this evening. Let me just give Facebook some time to gather my audience. And I know many folks are so happy that it's Friday. It's time to rest, take rest, and be with your family. And I hope everyone is having a pleasant weekends to start off. Myself, I'll be working this evening and then taking some rest tomorrow. Hopefully, I have some webinars scheduled. But nevertheless, I hope everyone is doing fine. And I came up with this topic to the family, and then I also put nah. And basically seeing that many people have been having some mixed emotions as it relates to practicing group economics and investing with other people. You know, I know this even for myself as I am teaching, some questions that arise that even I am a little curious about. And for myself, even as a teacher, goals, and others have other goals. And times you got to meet folks. Hi, Queen, joining. You know, and as a teacher and a business owner and an investor, sometimes I have to wear different hats. You know, and I noticed that in my teaching that I can want one thing for my clients and for my students, but you know, they want another. And you know what I want basically, as I am teaching folks how to form investment clubs, teaching them about the stock market, and teaching them about practicing group economics, whether with their family or whether with their friends or even their acquaintances. You know, I want them to have financial freedom. I want this for their family. I want this for their community. I want this for their friends, you know, and for folks to build with their family first, you know, and these are the questions and that have been arising as I am teaching. You know, obstacles that stand in the way of that for many people. Not to say that people that they not want to practice group economics or corporate economics as it relates to investing with their families, right? But the obstinate folks to discuss tonight, for me, that's a dire need. It's one of my goals and one of my missions that we, as a family, and even with folks in our communities, because they're out too, and our acquaintances, that we practice group economics to this economy. So the question is, should you partner with your family when investing in business? Should you? Is the question. For those who know, you can easily guess what my answer to that question is. You already know. what my answer to that question is. But should families into investing is the question. And many businesses have been formed and are still, and they remain a family affair. You know, the Walmarts, which the Walmarts of they're the Waltons of the Walmart store. They do it. Bill Gates does it with his family. You know, so why can't we? So although it has worked well for many families, and yes, there's where this is a bad idea. You know, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the obstacle that stands in the way and the impact this may have. So there must be a long-standing healthy relationship between family members that are involved in any business and if you're investing, it is your business. Okay, so if you're investing, I don't care what it is in real estate, if you're investing in the stock market, that you're investing in, take that as a business because you're going to get a 1099 form. And if you get a 1099 form, that means that the IRS is treating you as you have a business, and you need to treat it as such. So if you're investing, if your relationship has had a tattered past and it is not fully healed, don't believe for a second that a successful business will be the solve that heals, because it's not. And every old wound will be opened and dealt with the immense pressure cooker of a physically tied business investing relationship. This if I consider it needs to be that you have a solid and healthy relationship for years. You know, you have to have a solid people estate. Others are not. Nevertheless, you know, so it's least because whatever your family insurance policy, if you got money in the bank is going to have you go and fill out an estate form. Okay, so you have to take this as a business, you know, and sometimes we put into with other family members, you know, and we have no choice but to get along. Okay, but I'm speaking right now about when things don't. Okay, I'm trying to find a resolution to it. Got to work out. So number 2, before setting sail, every role and expectation needs to be clearly defined. Okay, you're not organizing mom's 50th surprise birthday here. Okay, that's not what this is. You are starting a business, an investing business, lives of those involved for years to come. Okay, so if you want to have a serious business, an investing relationship with your family, you need to start mindset, you know, and talk about every aspect of the business that you want, and look at the business from no rock unturned. I'm telling you now, leave no rock unturned. And the what ifs, your business until you run out of what ifs. Okay? Always brainstorm. What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? That's brainstorming, and do that, because when these what ifs become reality, you'll be prepared and on the same page as that family member. Okay. And number 3, each member has to have a passion for the aspect that they are taking on from this business investment. They have to have a passion for it, you know, and enough said with that. They have to have a passion for it, because no passion equals no success. So many families that conduct business together are passionate about their business, and they have to be. And they generally do it because they want to help their customers, you know. So this is not something that can't be done. But the question that must be asked is why you don't want to enter a business relationship with a family member first. That's the question. Many of us, we do it with our friends, we do it with our acquaintances, we even do it in our community. But family first. You know, I seen an interview with Rick Ross, and I don't know if folks know that Rick Ross owns the franchise of West Wings, and I hope hope I'm saying it correctly, but he owns like 33 of them. And he has his family, his mother and his sister, and I watched the interview with him just yesterday and it brought tears to my eyes, and he said, family first. He said, family first, because you got to empower, because many folks don't know, but we can teach them to learn how. So family first, but the question that must be asked is why we don't want to enter a business relationship with our family first, and one of the reasons is it's convenience. One of the reasons is convenience. You have most people that have a tendency to work with others out of convenience, okay? And when I speak of convenience, it's because they have a resource or talent or ability. So this is why people will work with you, because you have a resource, a talent, or an ability that is needed to accomplish the business goal. But it's not a good idea, because you will be drained and you will be stressed out, So one of the things that I want to say is that even as myself, as I see many folks that this is the issue, and especially like many of my students, I always like to help them when they're struggling with something, and even some of my clients. And this is one of the issues, as I am teaching how to practice group economics, how to form an investment club, how to use the stock market to invest. And I always tell them with their family first, you can do it with your family, you can do it, but the choice is up to them. But the obstacle that I notice as I'm analyzing, and I look at my own analytics, I notice that many people don't want to go in business with their family. They do it with their friends. And the obstacle for me is that I got to meet people where they're at, but I also have a goal too. So folks are paying me, but I still have a goal, because the reason why I'm teaching this is for us to build with our family, is for us to beat this economy, and when I speak of family, you're my family, Latia. Other people that's on here, you're my family too, because it's about us beating this economy, But here's an example. Let me give you an example. I came up with an example. I'm going to use a guy named John and his brother Jimmy. Okay, John's brother Jimmy is excellent. Is an excellent remolder. Okay, John's brother Jimmy is an excellent remolder. John wants to flip houses on the side while time job. John has the finances, but needs someone to overlook, and Jimmy, his brother, would be the perfect fit for that. Except for the fact that Jimmy, the brother, is very undependable and has a reputation for disappearing for days at a time. So John hopes that his brother will suddenly get it together and help launch his dream of flipping houses. Okay? And this is a dangerous path here, because, when business is not personal, okay, but these are some of the obstacles that stand in the way when people are trying to form businesses and investing with their family and even sometimes their friends. But I'm talking about the family here, because family first, okay? Family first, okay? So this is a dangerous path. And I suggest slapping some damn sense in him, but no, but giving partnership, okay? Giving Jimmy before going actual partnership, and this is a truth. If Jimmy performs like his history has shown in their relationship, it will be stressed and potentially damaged, and so will the business, and so will their investment. You see what folks will have to lose? So it just isn't worth it, right? But it is worth it that you screen thoroughly anybody that you decide to enter in business with, in business and investing folks, you need to have folks that are dependable, and you need to have folks that are reliable. And that goes even with not saying don't try, because podcast is about, yes, we got to try. Okay, we got to try to find out what is the obstacle that stands in the way, okay, of folks doing this with one another. Because family first. Family first. In my opinion, family is more important than business. That's in my opinion. A lot of times when I have clients and I have students, that's not their opinion. Okay. And see where I have to meet them where at. And sometimes, I just have to bite that, right? Because I have a goal too, right? I have a goal too. But when people are paying you, when people are about to meet them where they're at, so let's face it, most relationships are damaged with family, are damaged, or strained. And because of some sort of financial event, a lot of times it's financial, and families are destroyed by greed and financial abuse, quite often. And I've seen it even in my own family. Family is about making money. That's why we go in business. That's why we invest, is to make money. Okay. But there's a relationship being and be discussed. Okay. This needs to be discussed and thought about. Because, but please do not. I want to say this. Please do not casually enter business relationship, especially investing with a family member. Don't do it casually with anybody. Lose your money. And this is where sometimes we got to bite that bullet. Even though for me it's all about, and I'm saying work this out, and I have some steps as I go on of how you can try to work this out, because all you can do try. Okay, so consider the 3 things that I said above, and then potentially save yourself a lot of headache and trouble. Okay, because these are real life situations that occur, but still try to work it out. Okay, and through business relationship, families have grown closer, actually, and they talk to each other mostly every other day. So my personal answer, as I began, my personal answer to the question, should investing with family be done? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. You want to beat this economy? Start with your family first. 5 people if you have to. If just 5, that's good right there. Each of y'all put in $150 or $200 and then start investing. Okay, that will be a little bit in everybody's pocket, but your money will grow. Okay, so the rule number 1 here is yes, work it out. Work it out. Okay, and here's what you can do. This is what the rich white folks actually do. What you do. Use family counsel. When you are struggling with family members and you may want to invest with them, I don't care if it's in the stock market, I don't care if it's in real estate, I don't care if it's buying land, whatever that is, and you want to start with your family, because I recommend start with your family first. Use family counsels to address family matters. Okay, some family members will share the same values, but not the same vision. Okay, you got to understand that. You got to understand that. And one sibling may want to grow the business and keep it privately owned, while another sibling may want to sell it or even take it public on the stock market. Okay. So these are the little things that will come along. That's why when I mentioned those what ifs, you got to say, what if this? What if that? Brainstorm it. But a structure that more and more family businesses are creating to help resolve these types of conflicts in family is a family council. Okay, and this family council, it comprises of members that they can also be family members, who may also be owners. Okay, it could even be therapists. You may need to go into therapy to work this stuff out. Sometimes some folks use their attorney. And these family councils, they meet monthly or they meet quarterly and even annually, for strategic building of the business over the next 10 years. It could be over the next year or it could be over the next 10 years. But ideally you want to evaluate that council after 2 years, and at which point you may open the membership up for other families and the next generation, because you're setting a pattern, so the next generation could also model this, but always have a strategic strategy in place for these issues if there are problems as you are investing, whether in business or in stock market or real estate, with your family. And this council, it does not need to micromanage the business, okay? But it addresses family issues or concerns business. Okay, so you're not going to be micromanaged by them. But if a family member is working in the business, listen, I'm just using this as an example. If a family member is working in the business, and this is something that the family council will address, or if a family needs to borrow some money, the council will decide if it wants to create a fund for the purpose of making family loans, and it's not uncommon for family members to sacrifice income to take a pay cut or to keep the business afloat during tough times. Sometimes this is what has to take place as you're investing with your family, and again, the council would examine how best to compensate these family members going forward. Okay, so some family councils also, they help establish 3 sets of plans. Okay, the first is the individual ones. And this helps keep each member of the family determine his or own professional goals. And then the second is a family plans that determine the overall goals of the family and the resources that are needed to achieve those objectives. And then last is the business plan, which addresses such issues as ownership and management control, and family involvement in the business and long-term strategic direction of the business. But let's dig deeper. Business experts, they actually concede that family ownership does have its privileges too. You have to really be careful. And this, again, I said, if you invest in, that's a business in such a way that it's transparent and it doesn't hurt the morale. So you want to keep the morale up, when you're forming your family business. And be careful not to abuse family relationships. Okay. And I'm saying that meaning, don't even reward or punish someone because they are a relative or whom you have a personal history with. Okay, because you never know, as you form in this family business, you may have some friends that may also come in, so you want to be fair across the board, because at some rate, you need to reward and praise the exceptional work of everybody, so you want to treat everybody fairly, right? And communicate and openly, don't keep secrets, or hide the fact that you even have relatives or friends, in your business, because you may have other investors that might want to come into your family business, and these other investors may be friends or acquaintances, so you want to keep it straight across the board, and if you have family members, let folks know, this is my family member, but be fair in your practices. Also non-family employees shouldn't feel like family members are more in the know about what's going on with the business, and this is, again, you have to be fair across the board, and the ability to have an effective communication with all family members of the organization is very critical. Okay, communicating is very critical, and it's basically to foster a better climate, in the atmosphere for everyone. And basically, and to improve continuous two-way communications, you want to consider holding even family retreats. As you're investing and you're in business with your family, have some retreats. Suggest that family members attend workshops and even conferences. And this could even go even before you even start investing. So this can take place even before. So you'll devise a plan and communicate and get and air whatever differences you're having out. So these are great opportunities for them to learn how to work together and communicate efficiently and better. So this here is working it out. Okay, you got to work it out. Family first. Family first. And as my main goal, as I always say, for us as Black people to practice group economics, corporate economics, generational wealth building, with our families, or even our friends, and our acquaintances. And it's all to build financial freedom, basically, and long-term generational wealth. But I recognize, even in my own teachings, that sometimes for many students that I have, that they, this can be a major issue. This can be has been a major issue lately. And that scenario I gave was a true story. And I always say, work it out. And I try to find solutions. And as I've been trying to find solutions, folks have been trying. And it's try to work it out. You got a business, you want to, and I always say a little goes a long way. You want to invest with your family, work it out, whatever the differences is, and I just gave so many tips on how you can. So it's really no excuse, except for if somebody is not willing. I mean, at least you tried, at least you tried, but try. Okay, try. And family first. Family goes a lot. I mean, you'd be surprised. And you don't have to do. Investing is something that you do alone. Okay, so thank you for being on the Speak Life and Claim It show, and I hope this broadcast spoke life into your existence. And if you're struggling with your family and you do want to practice group economics with your family, and you want to even form an investment club, and if you don't even know how, get my book. Put that in there, the thirdgeninvestmentguide.com. If folks want the book, and they're struggling and don't know how to go about these things, get the book. And also you can sit in as you register. I also give a webinar to explain it and to help folks along that process. I'm there with folks every step of the way. Okay, but practicing group economics, forming investment clubs with your family is family first. Okay, family first. Okay, and I just gave you steps on how to do that. So I hope that spoke life to you, and good luck. Thank you and have a nice weekend.